Well, greetings. Again, I'm afraid I'm still on my little hobby horse again, but I can't see any alternative. I have a website absolutely heaving with facts and links to international independent medical science. I've given video after video, some of which have gone fairly viral, but it seems that we're not moving forward at all. Now, I said at the beginning I didn't think any good would come of lockdown. The World Health Organization says that lockdown doesn't work. Most independent medical science suggests that masks don't work, and how could they? A virus so small normally comes through the eyes. It's a bit like trying to keep mosquitoes out with chicken wire. And they can actually do harm, but I've done a video on masks before for you to make up your own mind. We know that the schools have been closed, and yet not a single child in Europe has died of this COVID-19 business. Not a single one. We know that the recovery rate for men and women under 60 is somewhere in the region of 99.9%. And Chris Whitty himself in his original talk to the nation, as it were, back in October, said that this is not a killer virus. It can be very nasty if you get a bad dose. And we all accept that. But if you look at the public health statistics, the national health statistics, and you've got to dig deep to find them, but they're there, they're in the public domain. We know, do we not, that out of a population of 65 million, only 3,900 people have died with only COVID on the death certificate. Only COVID, i.e. previously supposedly healthy. So we know that to be the case. And if you're not sure, dig down or look at my website and you'll find the exact figures. But just ask yourself, ask your friends, ask members of your family. Do you know anybody who was previously healthy who has died from COVID-19? And the answer is you don't. Unless it's really, it's a sort of something like 400,000 to 1 that you would know somebody. Yes, of course, you know a brother-in-law who's got a great-aunt Edna, who's got a friend who was 85, who had COVID written on the death certificate. But that's not the same thing. That's not the same thing at all. We also know, do we not, and I've said this before, that we had higher mortality statistics for viruses in 1957, 1958, and 1968, around about the same, not far away from 2010. So we know that something different is going on. What is going on? And they're talking about lockdown continuing in some form and even up to next Christmas. And of course, as viruses mutate, and now tell us the medical science sage, which I believe has a political agenda, said, oh, the virus has mutated, so we have to lock down for longer. We have to wear face nappies for longer. We close our pubs for longer. We protect the national health for longer. But of course, to suggest that medical scientists don't know that viruses mutate is ludicrous. Every fifth form schoolboy and schoolgirl doing science knows that viruses mutate. Of course they do. The suggestion that that's taken anybody by surprise is utterly ludicrous, isn't it? So it suggests to me that something's going on. Why is no counter debate allowed on public service broadcasting? Why are the scientists who say, from even the WHO, and loads of other international medical organisations allowed to come on and say, look, lockdown doesn't work and this is why. We've studied it. It's been in great detail we've studied it. We don't believe that masks actually have any effect at all. Why can't we debate that? Why is debate closed down? Why not allowed to talk about this? Why is social media closing down on anybody, people like myself, who are suggesting that there's another itinerary going on somewhere which we don't know about? And my Twitter followers are being reduced by 200 a week. 200 a week. They just suddenly, they disappear in the night because I'm not towing the party line. So we know that we can't fly anywhere, go to the airport. You've got to persuade somebody that your journey is really necessary. It's like Eastern Europe before the wall came down. This is really quite extraordinary, and people don't seem to be. Are you bothered about this? Your freedom being taken away ad infinitum. There's no end game here. There's no end game. So it's just going to roll on and on and on. They're talking about pubs with no alcohol. We're talking about almost unrestricted police powers, massive fines if your sister comes to stay for the weekend. Do you want to put up with this for much longer? Other countries are pushing back. Eastern Europe's pushing back. We know that other people are getting fed up, but we walk around zombie-like with our little masks on, doing exactly what we're told. We have to probe, we have to find out what's going on, because we're not being told the truth. We're clearly not being told the truth. I'm just winding up on this. If you look at the countries which haven't had lockdown, which haven't had the draconian lockdown that we have had, and there's a number of them, look them up, they're on my website, but Sweden is a prime example. And it was, oh, Sweden's different. Sweden isn't any different at all. The figures for mortality statistics from this virus are just the same in Sweden, where they haven't had a lockdown, and it is here. So there is a dimension here. There's something going on that we're not being told, and it's got nothing to do with public health and everything to do with political control. Why do they need this political control? Well, there's a lot of problems coming down the path at us when the collapse of banking comes along and the collapse of fiat currency. Maybe it's for that. I don't know. You might have your own hypothesis, but something stinks at the moment. We're living under martial law for no good reason. Think about it. As most of you know, my work is very heavily independently research based, and I get my information from all over the world. It would help if you press the subscribe button and the little bell next to it, because the more subscribers I have, the more likely it is that international independent research institutes will share their material with me. It's most helpful, and then of course I automatically share it with you. So, surprise, won't cost you anything. Thank you very much.